Hello everyone, I call myself Zondagskind. I like to make challenges for you in Civilization 6, but when Firaxis sets them for us, I will also play them. This is the 3 stars each challenge where you play on a map with quick speed and you are supposed to go for a science win with Hammurabi of Babylon. His personal ability is Nino Ilusilum. When each specialty district type except the Government Plaza is constructed for the first time, receive the lowest production cost building that can currently be constructed in that district. This is an amazing ability that I think people often sleep on a bit. Means your first holy site gets a free shrine, means your first preserve gets a free grove, means your first commercial hub gets a free market, and your first harbor gets a free lighthouse. Really good. It is also a bit of a balancing against the fact that your districts are relatively expensive, for the reason that you get a bunch of signs, but really good ability. And you receive an envoy when any other district is constructed for the first time, which is a nice small bonus. The Civ ability Enuma Anu Enlil gives you all the science for technologies once you get the Eureka. This gives you amazing rushes, for example to flight, for example to rangers at rifling. It does have the malus of minus 50% science per turn, which you will feel mostly in the very early game once you're getting to animal husbandry and mining, and in the end game once you're trying to get to the unboostable technologies. But in the mid game, this Civ has insane rushes. The Sabum Kibitum is not an insane unit, I think. It's an ancient era melee unit but does not replace the warrior. It has extra combat strength against heavy and light cavalry, and it has extra movement and sight. But I feel this is neither fish nor fowl. This is neither the great explorer that the scout is, nor the beefy wall of flesh that the warrior is. Other people say it's amazing. I don't really like it. I prefer to get warriors and scouts and have them do their own thing. The Pilgrim is an amazing building. Gives you 1 housing, 2 production. Fresh water tiles receive 1 food, and must be adjacent to a river, of course. And it unlocks irrigation, which with the Civ ability here, once you get 1 farm on a resource, you immediately unlock. This is amazing. Compared to the watermill, it's an instant 1 housing and 1 production extra. And as long as you have any more than 1 tile next to a river, that is just extra food you're waiting to pick up. And we have gotten a spawn here which has a decent number of tiles on the river and potentially more cities along it. So I will be playing this spawn. It is in the Discord server as well. I have thoughts on this challenge which I will share near the end of this episode, but first let's watch my playthrough on it. I'll try to guide you through the game with some post-commentary. So the very first thing I started to build was a Sabum Kibitum. We will go for, I think, for 1 scout. No, I'll go for a Sabum Kibitum because then I have my unique unit, and then I can go on to a settler. Still not a huge fan of this unit, but it timed out with getting to the 2nd population, going straight into a settler. And it is at least good enough that you can try it out as a substitute scout or warrior. So that was fine. Now, the reason I picked this spawn is that I knew it had some hills, I knew it had a farmable resource, so I knew that I was going to get the initial important boosts with Babylon. But what I didn't know, legitimately, is that we have Paititi. Well, I mean, this particular spawn is getting pretty tasty then. And I can clear this camp. That's good. I like that. And we settled it on turn 23. Because at turn 18, I already got to my Pantheon. And religious settlements was ripe for the taking. So, of course, went right for that. Because if you can find that, that's amazing. Then turn 19, we found our closest neighbor, Gran Colombia. Ah, it's blue and yellow. Os da la bienvenida a la Gran Colombia. It's Gran Colombia next to us. And then at turn 34 we got our first wonder, the pyramids. Which means that we got an extra charge on all of our builders. Pyramids, basically the first wonder I was looking for in the tech tree. This guy is just going to get us 3 mines. No questions asked. This guy is going to boost irrigation for us. The first one I was looking for in the civics tree was the Great Library. And the civics tree in this game is kind of interesting in that recorded history is the very first civic you get to in the classical era. We got there at turn 39. And let's now get the Palgum.
Create with the heart.
Games and recreation. And I do think now I want to place your campus and work. Oh, you can have a +3 here. Just from mountains. Yeah, that works better, I suppose. Boop. And we got into the classical era. With, of course, with Babylon, that should be super easy because you get all these boosts. A golden age. We went for monumentality there because it is just too good, even though at this point I had barely any faith income. Let's go into autocracy because I really want to try for Great Library. Let's go for charismatic leader and inspiration. Because we also want to try for some great scientists in our own right. Wait here. Got the campus in Babylon at turn 44 and then started working on the Great Library, which was done at turn 50. Lost suzerainty of Bologna, but here comes Great Library.
We can roam the bloated stacks of the Library of Alexandria, where all imagination and knowledge are assembled. We can recognize in its destruction the warning that all we gather will be lost.
Which will also give us buttress.
And all I ask, the Lord made us. I cannot imagine any. If I were again, an
Oh!
architect should.
Right! And normally I don't profit from this, but it gives us the boost to all the classical technologies. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. And also, it means that if an AI recruits a great scientist, you get a boost to a technology. And since you're Babylon, you immediately get that entire technology. So that is an amazing bonus for Babylon specifically. Really nice synergy. We got her own first great scientist at turn 51 already, Aryabhata, who also gives you a couple of boosts. These scientists like Emily du Châtelet, Aryabhata, and also Leonardo da Vinci, for example, who give boosts can be really, really beneficial for you as long as you haven't yet tacked past everything they can boost for you. Also, after the aqueduct, you could get to work on a trader, which is probably a good idea. In fact, do we get to?
Southwest
Here's
corner,
Joe
a large perpendicular mass of sandstone has become separated by a deep fissure from the body of the mountain. It has all the appearance of a colossal statue.
Gives us some faith, gives us some iron. Very nice, especially since we don't have a faith economy of our own. And it gives it to 6 tiles. So that's to 3 cities, so that's 12 faith. Which is really good. What turn am I hoping to win by? Honestly, like if I can do sub 200 even on quick speed, it's fine. It's fine. Went into a golden medieval age and pretty quickly got our first Night Mine, which immediately got us to rifling. Now, I didn't really do anything with that, but the Ranger Rush is a real thing with Babylon. But more importantly, we got our first good industrial zone in Esh Nuna. Honestly, maybe a little late on that, because we already had gotten to apprenticeship turn 35. So, arguably, I should have gotten to more good industrial zones earlier. You can make the jump from apprenticeship to industrialization a lot quicker. But I was a little unfocused. I am relatively good, I think, at making sure I get all the boosts that I can. But I'm not as good as maybe some people who kind of specialize at Babylon at picking out the exact boosts you want to really beeline the amazing techs you want.
Listen.
There's monarchy. First get this mine. We get a great writer now. Is there enough gold even in the game? Rats. No. So I need to chop this. Oh, baby. But let's go into monarchy for now. That will also give us castles. Let's go for chivalry. Gothic architecture doesn't do anything for us. Let's take urban planning. And diplomatic league, I think, still. No. Need to find new civs for that to work. And then at turn 81 got to the great engineer Imhotep, who then made the turns between 91 and 98 very tasty for us, because we got to 7 wonders in 8 turns. Place, whoops, mausoleum, and immediately finish it.
A vast tomb lies over me in Halicarnassus, of such dimensions, of such exquisite beauty, as no other shade can boast.
I just can't boast it. And boop.
At Rhodes was set up a colossus of 70 cubits high, representing the sun. The artist expended as much bronze in it as seemed likely to create a dearth in the mines.
Used that second charge on Colossus, and later in turn 98 used him on Colosseum. In between that was also working on Ruhr Valley, Forbidden City, Potala Palace, and Kilwakisiwani, which means we got the 2 best wonders of the game. We got the boost from having suzerainties. We got all the culture and amenities that Colosseum gives you. We got 2 extra policy cards in those turns. And of course the amazingness that is Ruhr Valley specifically for Babylon, because doing that immediately also gets you to flight, which is just grand. But then we also got into some conflict. The Renaissance era, I will go for, let's see. This is all on the other continent, so Higgs Draconis wouldn't be the worst thing ever. But my mentality, of course, is still just, it's so good. My mentality, it's hard to pass up. But let's declare friendship with whomever we can right now, because I am going to go to war very soon, as in right now. I know you don't like that, but look at... I can't pass this opportunity up, right? Right. I wanted to pillage some campuses because we were getting relatively close to that point where you can't boost everything anymore, and you need to pick up some extra signs fast, and pillaging is not does not get the malice that Babylon gets of minus 50% signs per turn. So those boosts are in a way doubly as valuable for Babylon as for another civ. There's Hannah the Navigator. Cool, 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 cool. And there's an Ironclad, which also gives us a boost. Sweet. Envoy, which I will keep. Artillery, eh? Hell yeah. Also got to flight, like I said, with Ruhr Valley, so that make it possible to get 2 biplanes, which immediately also boosts advanced flight, so you can get fighters and bombers. But first, rolled around with biplanes for a bit. At turn 111, got to communism, which we later transitioned into democracy for the better legacy card, and the better cards in general. But we got to communism first, partly because it's boosted by factories, so it's easier to find, generally speaking, as Babylon. Let's say goodbye to Scythia. Goodbye. You dingus. Eshnuna, please get me a bomber. Did we not boost that yet? Here we did. Oh, right, but we don't have aluminium yet. Yeesh. You could get a park down here. Then, just before the era switch, we got the first national park, which also unlocked radio for us, which was important because it also shows you where the aluminium is. So immediately the first turn of the new era, we got our first aluminium mine, which boosted and discovered nanotechnology for us. Also at turn 120, we got to rocketry, so we started working on our first spaceport to get this space race going. At turn 126, we got to bombers, which were a lot more effective. We had declared war on Georgia just a couple turns before that. You wanted this. Bye. Ha! Ha! Indeed. As again, I want to try and pillage as much of her campuses as possible. So we could have taken some of those cities a little earlier if we'd wanted, but the priority there was to pillage down those campuses. Turn 131, we already got smart materials. Finding the exoplanet was relatively easy on this tech tree. Getting to off-world mission after that was a little harder. And I should have taken note of that and focused a little more on the science at that point. But I kind of neglected that. And so what you will see then in the space race is that we got to the exoplanet really fast, but then had to delay a bit to actually get to the laser missions, because at turn 133 we got to the Earth satellite.
Then weave the web of the mystic meg.
Earth satellite, baby, which gives us another relic. You love to see it. 136 we got to the moon landing. 138 the Mars colony. 141 the exoplanet. And I would say usually, especially in quick speed, you should then be done in something like 7 turns. And people were saying as we did the exoplanet expedition, oh, this will probably be a sub 150, but already I was a little skeptical of that. And yeah. Actually, the way it's looking now, I don't get the sub 150 victory because of this. I'll need Margaret Mead for that. But we got to off-world mission in the end and were able to do a couple of laser projects and finish the game at turn 151. There we go.
Much as our ancestors did ages ago, we thrust forward into the unknown. The first pioneers set forth on an uneasy course. And yet once again did our people thrive. Now, under your leadership, we plot a new course and make another world our own.
GG, thank you very much. I am going to have a bit of a whinge about this challenge, because I think of the 6 we've had so far, this is by far the worst, and I think, unironically, that people should play my Babylon challenge instead, that I published in January. And the reason for that is very simple. Firaxis did not give us a map to play the challenge on. We can reroll over and over. If you click this menu here, you can restart, you get a new seed. And some will have very easy spawns, like here we had the farmable resource, which got you going, and the natural wonder. And some will have none of that, will have very low food yields, will have very few hills. And either of those could be fine. It's fine to give us a map where it's very easy to play Babylon, and it's fine to give us a map where it's very hard to play as Babylon. But I think the choice needs to be made. Even the Scythia challenge, where admittedly I also said that people should play my challenge instead, at least it was a very easy challenge that was the same for everyone, so people could compare exactly how quickly they did it. And now personally, I'm not a huge speedrunning fan, so I didn't really enjoy that prospect. But at least that is a legitimate way to set up a challenge. Hey, here is a game that you could finish in under 30 turns. Try to find that very bottom turn timer where you can finish it. But this just makes me sad, honestly. and I showed Twitch stream a note that I'd scribbled in a quarter hour where I devised for myself 7 challenges that were already more detailed, where I'd at least thought of whether I wanted to handpick opponent civs or city-states. If the next challenge also has random seeds, I'm not going to play it. And I don't want to sound too much like a Karen here, but I think that Firaxis can do a lot better, especially with the resources they have to actually program the challenge to be different from a normal game. For example, I suggested at the Ides of March video that you could program the science win not to be a standard space race, but to, for example, a turn timer where you have to have a certain amount of science per turn. Or you could have a race to certain number of scientists. Same for diplomacy victory. You know, give us a 100 turn game and whoever just has the most diplomatic victory points after that wins. But this really doesn't cut it. And like I said, unironically, you should play my Babylon challenge instead. You can find that one in my Discord server, as well as the turn 1 save I did for this, so that if you do want to compare yourself to my win timer, you can do that. And let's hope that the next challenge of the month will be a little more inspired. And if you do like my video on this challenge, then do please leave a like. If you think that I'm a whiny SOB, then do please leave a comment. In any case, you can subscribe and ding the bell so you know when the next playlist goes live. That will be with a challenge with Mandate of Heaven Qin Shi Huang of China. So I hope to see you there. Bye bye.